Welcome to Co-op Radio 102.7 FM, CFRO. You're listening to the Monday Brown Bagger. The date is September 29th, 2008. For our first guest, his name is Wayne Madsen, who has been a naval officer with some 20 years experience in security issues. Currently, Wayne is an investigative reporter out of Washington, D.C. He has had appearances on ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and MS-NBC. He has been invited to testify as a witness before the U.S. House of Representatives, the United Nations Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, and the terrorism investigation panel of the French government. Hello, Wayne.
Yes, hi. Good to be with you.
Well, there's an awful lot more that you've done in your life that it would have taken at least 2 hours just to touch on everything.
Well, yeah, I've done quite a bit, but I think there's a lot more that needs to be done still.
The first question I have for you, you wrote an article which exposed how the Bush family has been profiting off of the transfer of public land to private interest. Could you tell us a little bit about that article?
Yes, this came to me actually from one of the presidential candidates who's running, visiting parts of the country and talking to people who obviously can't get this information to the corporate media because the corporate media is in cahoots with the people who are committing these criminal acts and taking public lands and even private lands and turning them over to their exploitative wealthy friends. But in the case of the California fires, there was one massive set of fires in 2003. They've been plagued with those fires since. Apparently, many of these fires were started by arsonists. Others were part of then Secretary of Agriculture Ann Veneman's Healthy Forest Initiative. And what happened is that in one case, one of the residents in San Bernardino County, California, saw repeatedly a helicopter fanning flames towards these older residences, these older homes. Of course, in many cases, these older homes were destroyed. The land was up for grabs, basically. People didn't have the insurance to rebuild. The land became available to speculators, who then, of course, erected these huge McMansions for multimillionaires. What I was told by some reliable sources is that the Bush family, particularly the Bush 41, is very much involved in the land title companies that transfer title of the land at a fairly handsome percentage. So this, I guess, is what Naomi Klein talks about in her book, books about the shock doctrine, about disaster capitalism. We see this in action.
And in your article, you talked about how the Western Shoshone Nation, the Native American nation in California, parts of Nevada, Utah, also into Idaho, has actually lost some of its land, something like 24 million acres for $135 million.
Yeah, right. And this was part of a so-called settlement of treaty violations between the federal government and the Western Shoshone Nation, which saw them getting paid a mere pittance. I think the only previous land grab we saw like that was when the United States purchased Alaska from Russia for 3 cents an acre or something like that. So yeah, this was a massive ripoff of the Native Americans, but not the first time we saw with Jack Abramoff and his band of criminals tied to the White House, how they basically snookered the Native American tribes on these lucrative casino deals. So not much has changed as far as how the federal government and its cronies deal with the Native American population.
And also, we have to remember New Orleans at the same time. Sorry about that. We have to remember New Orleans and what happened there with Katrina, in the way that as soon as the Katrina hit and it destroyed it, I've heard reports that some of the levees actually had burn marks on them, which showed the possibility that there could have been some type of implosion happening there. Have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, I heard the same. I talked to people who had the same information. And I talked to people who had first-hand information where they heard explosions that where they absolutely knew these were explosions that brought down these levees in key areas. And of course, what we saw is public housing tracts in New Orleans that were not even affected by Katrina were then declared inhabitable for the people who live there, the poorest of the poor in New Orleans. They were forced to leave, and now they're going to be building those public housing tracts are going to be turned over to these speculators, these real estate speculators, that are going to build these condominium shopping center units that none of these people who live there could ever even hope to afford.
And we also have to remember the millions of people that were sort of like put as refugees within the United States, all caused by this. What's happening with all the people who are now declared to be sort of like refugees that have to move all around the United States or from that area?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, Houston still had a lot of these people from New Orleans who were still living in Houston. Now, after Houston was hit, the Houston area was hit by Ike. These people once again are being uprooted. I think we're going to see the same sort of unscrupulous land developers come into Galveston, which many of those coastal barrier islands were wiped out, where the people can't afford to rebuild, and we're going to see these people buy up the land at a song. And of course, old man Bush lives in Houston, so he knows where these properties are located. So I think we're going to see more of the same in Galveston and the Houston area.